All right, guys. So you can see we are live trackside at Shadyside. Actually, we're in the tower. We are here this week. Welcome to Live with the Media G.O.A.T. It's been a couple weeks since we've had an episode, and if it sounds a little loud, we gotta have some air conditioning because it's hot in the Carolinas. I got here today, track manager Seth Buff.
Good morning.
Morning. God. See, y'all are going to see me looking constantly at this screen, so my head's going to be tilted constantly back and forth because we're here at the track. It's a no-brainer Nationals weekend, and the cars are already starting to roll in. It's actually Test and Tune tonight, which after we get done with this, it should pop up on Facebook and YouTube. We'll be live for Test and Tune tonight, but we're doing a short segment today with Live with the Media G.O.A.T. So we're going to talk about the No-Brainer Nationals while we're here trackside with Seth and Jason Red Hall. He should be logging in at any time, and as soon as he gets in, we'll patch him into the conversation too. So I'm going to let Seth take over for a minute, tell y'all kind of what we got in store for the weekend, what we got going on.
Yeah, so it's the No-Brainer National Weekend. I forget the exact number. What are we on, 3 or 4? 3? Anyway.
I think it's 4.
It's 4?
Yeah, I think so.
Regardless, great event, great calls. If you've been to it before, Reds give you the rundown. Got 235 back in the house. We're really excited about that.
Limited Street.
Limited Street.
No longer 235.
Well, they're on the little tire.
They're on the 255 too.
Limited Street is back in the house. So we're excited about that. The bracket program's been killing it lately. The new stuff, MB275 coming out that Red's kind of adapted to. Looking forward to having that. Well, curious how that's going to go. What else do we have? 6.0.
Let's see, we got the regular 275/28 shootout, which is your no pro mod, pro stock bodies, just stock style body and a 275 tire.
Yeah. So a lot of good action this weekend.
Yeah.
Kicking off Friday with the Foot Brake Pro and the 4-car shootout now.
Yeah, I mean, they just recently got that one together, and that's 4 killers. That's nothing slow.
I think it's going to be a fantastic race.
So you got Jason Black, David Knight, Baby Shark, and God, who's the other one? Jason Black, David.
I don't have my phone.
It's another nitrous car. Oh, Jacob Pearson. That's it. Yep. Jacob Pearson, AK-47 car. So we've got that shootout tomorrow night, plus 2 rounds of qualifying, and the Shadyside Outlaws, right?
Yep.
Okay. And now that shootout's just open to those guys only. You've had to run or actually be on the list,
in
correct?
The past. You had to run in the past.
Okay.
So if you were on it last year, you're eligible.
Okay.
Red wants it to be a good show, and rightfully so. And you run into a deal where it's so hard to get parts. Like, are you really going to keep somebody out who just hasn't got their stuff together from year to year?
I mean, the last 2 years, it's been insane on all that anyways, which, like I said, I think in my personal opinion, though, the highlight class, like I said, we were talking about the limited street class this weekend, which we've already got the Australians on property.
Yep, Mike's here with ice ignitions.
Let's see. I know those 2 down. Let's see. Those 2 were 235 cars. There's 2 more 235 cars. So essentially, we've already got 5, 6 235 cars on property.
Yep.
So, and this is their points race this weekend with RTRA, which we do have Red in now. So while I'm getting Red pulled in, you can go ahead and talk. Get kind of played up a little more if you want.
Yeah, we're going to get kicked off Friday. Everything will probably start around 6. I know we've got a private test session starting at 12. Saturday, we're going to kick off brackets at 11. Go ahead and do 2 rounds of those. So you'll get a time trial round and then another round of competition before we start any other classes. Bracket racing's been great this year. We've got a good car count. I'm looking forward to it this weekend. So after those start, we'll fall into qualifying for 235 and test runs for the other divisions.
All right.
Move straight forward.
All right. And now we do have Red in the building. Red, can you hear us pretty good?
I think it's a little spotty. Can you hear me?
I can hear you pretty good. I'm going to turn your volume up, though. Talk again, Red.
Mine's kind of breaking up just a little bit. I don't know if it's y'all or me.
It's probably us knowing our luck. But what's going on, buddy?
Enjoying Charlotte traffic, trying to get home to get ready.
I feel you there, man. So, me and Seth were talking now. Is this the third or the fourth No Brainer Nationals?
Fifth.
Fifth. So we're both wrong. It's the fifth. we were both never good at
Fifth.
math. So.
Yeah, 4 years, but 1 and 5 is on the end. So yeah, it's the fifth one.
All right. And
2023. The first one was 19. So yeah, 19, 20, 21, 22. Yeah, one.
Now, Red, can you give us some background on the meaning behind the No Brainer Nationals?
Well, background's a personal story of my son having brain cancer, and we had surgery 7 years ago, and had surgeries. Had to move to Florida for radiation treatment, and I've always been into racing ever since I was a teenager. Tagging along with other people, racing Outlaw 10 and 5, Automatic Pro Mod, Pro 275, from Orlando to Georgia to Darlington, Virginia, Maryland. And so you pick up on a friend at the racetrack. And we were very fortunate that some racing friends paid for my family a place to stay while they were getting the treatment. And kind of one of the deals, where you're praying and you're saying, we get through this, I'll return the favor and pay it forward. So a couple years later, when we felt like life was good and back to normal, I decided to put on a race and get back and do the same thing for families going through what we went through, and actually, unfortunately, are going through again right now. Just paying for their bills, paying for their room and board, paying for whatever they need. So that's how the race got started, and luckily it's been growing ever since.
Oh yeah, it's always been on my calendar to make, no matter what, if I can. And we're back here again then for this year, and it's grown even larger. Like, we're on the aspect of having RTRA points race this weekend involved with the No Brainer Nationals, and I think that's great. I know John can't be in the house, but it's. I think we lost him. Yeah.
We'll get him back in, but
yeah.
Just to continue on what he said, that thing started from a really emotional.
Oh, there he is.
There he is.
Got me now.
Yeah, I got you.
It's an emotional thing, man. Like, to watch this unfold and see it. Like, there's heart behind this, and a lot of races don't have heart. God, this one's full of it.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, and I don't want to bash or downplay any promoters or any kind of race. I mean, people are doing it to make a living and buy money, and people are doing it because they love racing. Hate shakedowns going on right now because I don't know personally, but John Sears obviously is a big part of that, and great place and a great organization, a great race. I hate we're on. Then there is some guys that, they're all in, they'll schedule on top of you and, do whatever's best for them. And at the end of the day, our race is obviously different, and I can get away with doing other things, because I'm not here to pad my pocket. Everything we raise goes to. Most of them I've never met and probably never will. We get referrals from local. Sometimes we don't even know the names. We just get it, and they say, "Hey, this family's in need for this. Can y'all do it?" We say, "Yeah, it's on it," and we just get it handled. Some of them knowing and befriending, and because there's a lot of local There's actually a couple that's been to the race off and on. We're going to come this little kid named Dakota this weekend. We've seen him the last couple of races and befriended them a little bit. And they're possibly going through a recurrence with his cancer. So he's back trying to fight also. You know, so it's obviously pulling heartstrings, and you know, you got to pull heartstrings a little bit to release that money so we can help other people, because 7 years ago I never thought about kids never crossed my mind. Most people don't. You know, you hear breast cancer a lot. You see pink every that's what's advertised. That's a money-making deal, fundraising deal, and it's a large group. I mean, that's a big problem, breast cancer, but nobody thinks about kids until it happens to them. When it happens to you, you realize how rare it's not, and you're kind of thrown into a different world of how others are going through it. So, you know, I'm fortunate, you know, to be able to raise some friends and family to help get it started and grow it. I've been to a bunch of racetracks, been to a lot of races. Never thought about putting one on until all this happened, and I realized I needed to do something to give back, and something that was from my own, you know, my own life.
Definitely understand that, man. And, you know, like you were talking about, where Shakedown is this weekend, you know, Shakedowns went all slick classes. So if you're on a radial, this is the place to be this weekend.
Sure. Yep. Yeah, it is. And I got a lot of feedback from a lot of Shadyside Outlaws tomorrow night is going to be awesome. It's going to be probably the best we've ever had at a No-Brainer Shadyside Outlaws shootout. You know, we got some prodigal son racers, and try to find all the current Shadyside Outlaw guys, who they are, who are number one. You know, the return of the Jason Richards. Aaron Buchanan's going to come back. Actually, helped Tony Taylor get his car. I think he's going to try to be ready. Charles Tyree's working midnight oil to try to come back, and all your local guys that have been running. And the new class, I get about every hour about, you know, just little small questions about rules and wanting to come run it, and I'm hoping that I'm not overzealous about. I think it's going to be a full field Saturday. I mean, I will, if there's not 16 cars, because I've had more than that have asked me about it. So, you know, we'll just have to see how that plays out. Outlaw or 28-275. It's going to be very, very loud, is all I can say, because there's some blowers.
The blowers are coming.
Pro Chargers, right? Pro Chargers, 100-inch nitrous motors. I've had all types of message and ask and say they were coming, so it's going to be loud and facing in 28-275.
Yeah, like I said, I think you're going to have some pretty good fields. Like I said, already we're counting 5-6 limited street cars here already. Aaron Buchanan's here already on property. We see he's going to be testing tonight. I know Sammy's on the way to test tonight. I mean, Testing Tune's going to be great tonight, and I think tomorrow, just leading into the program, the early morning test session, afternoon test session, going into the evening, I mean, it's going to be probably some of the best radial racing we've seen in a long time.
Yeah. I always try to have high hopes about it, but it looks, and I'm really not having anything questionable. I know the old weatherman is predictions, but it's already just in 8 hours, so I ain't even paying attention to it now. I think we'll be. And
will be great.
Well, if there's one thing we're good at, we know how to drive this track.
Good Lord, we've learned that.
Yeah, and the little chance that there is, but I've got 5 freaking different radar or whatever, one of them about every hour, and they're all pretty close, and get a nice shower or something this quick, but there ain't nothing to worry about what I'm looking at. It'll be fine, and I really think that, and hope good. There's a lot of talk, seeing a lot of action on thankfully, the Shades has got like 11,000 people in it, so it's buzzing when you start posting up pictures and flyers and get people. I think it's gonna be pretty good. I think we're gonna have to find some extra parking, and I hope get people.
If we need to, we definitely got parking here if we need it.
Yeah, I think we'll be good.
Yeah.
What class are you guys looking forward to the most?
Now, class, a no-brainer, limited 275, just because it was kind of a creation. I modified just a little bit between y'all's older rules and just seeing a little bit of stuff and kind of making it generalized and easy to check and easy evidence if we have to do some adjustments. Before the limited street, because I used to run that class, and I really have them guys, and I've run with them and down in Georgia, and that's, I know they're a good group of guys, and it's a I guess you'd say, point series. John's done amazing keeping that thing going and just making it grow from, where it started might have had 10 cars, and DXP Street might have had cars, and then it started dwindling down. But then now the joint effort, in Georgia, at the first race of the year, and Australia, that they're sitting down in Shelby, North Carolina, and wanting to run it. So, that's how else you can describe an exciting class.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And honestly, like the Carolina Nitrous Nationals earlier this year, that class stole the show, in my opinion. Even through the weather conditions and everything, those guys never gave up, and they were putting numbers up on the board, which that's the beautiful thing is they're going to be lighting the boards this weekend.
Yep. I know some of those guys really good. They've done a lot of winter upgrades, and their upgrades have been money well spent, and I'm pretty sure that I hope, and I'm sure John there'll be a limited street record set tonight. Tomorrow night or at some point. The headliner for that class, you go down to Georgia where there's other classes, and that's the slower class in the race. So they kind of get pushed to the not so weather and gracious track, and they end up not having the best track to run a lot, and that's prep they've probably been on since the class has joined.
And it's almost, they've taken the spot of the brunt of the joke that Ultra Street used to get now. And I think we've said it many times to these guys while they've been up here, you're the star of the show up here.
Yeah.
I mean, you're what Radio versus the World is down there up here. So
Well, I tell them, I'm like, you've got a home here. You know, I like them. This is where we fit in. Shayside's always been kind of that stomping ground for those badass classes that are taking off and starting. And, you know, some of them evolve quicker than others. You look at Outlaw 275 and the car council used to pull and the racing we had. And even some of the Outlaw radial shootouts on the 315s, you know, they were kind of short-lived because they just outgrew us. But then out here, 235s here, and I'm like, man, you've got a home here. We love it. We think it's awesome. We'll put the money up. John Sears is putting his money where his mouth is, and the guys seem to like it down here. And
I mean, who doesn't like watching 4-second passes on a bicycle tire?
they're bad, man.
Right. I mean, yeah. I mean, Shady's, you know, the historical outlaw track of the world, you know, late thousands, and then there's a lot of smaller. The radio even happened. There's a lot of 28 slick racing and slick racing. You know, wheelies after wheelies. You need a wheelie. You know, there wasn't radio then, but that was you were known then. You know, let go of the front wheels 2 feet in the air. People, you know, their feet are at your head as you're passing them, and you know, it's just a little setup to be able to show out. No matter, and the 235 guys, 255, whatever you want to call it, they're tight. That tire's not just a, you know, jacking, you know, and it separates 7 inches to go down the racetrack like a 75 car. That thing's going to have to ride a little bit of wheelie, and the car's got to act. That's what makes it exciting.
Oh, yeah. And this is kind of off subject, but since we've been sitting here talking, like where I'm in the tower, I can see, I bet I've seen 3-4 toters rolling in just recently, like in the last 5 minutes. Like, racers are coming in hard already to the tracks. So this place is going to be packed.
A couple asked me about how easy toter homes in. I said, you'll be fine. They've had the biggest of the biggest. You'll be fine.
Oh, yeah. And one thing, and like Seth can probably elaborate a little more on this, and I don't want to leave him off, but we have the bracket program this weekend also, and those guys have been showing out left and right, and I expect it to be another big bracket weekend down here.
Yeah, it's we've had the car count, and not only the car count, like we've had some of the baddest guys in the region racing with us. There was a bracket page done a little write-up a couple weeks ago, and it was listing all these races in this Southeast Division, and you know, Carolina was on there, and stuff happened at VMP, and all the big races that were going on. And Shadyside got mentioned once or twice in there, and I was like, I thought that was pretty cool, you know, to shine some light on those guys, especially down here. Like, they're racing against tough competition, and it doesn't matter how you spin it. You know, you put 60 plus cars in a field with a buyback round, you've got to be on your game to go rounds and win. So yeah, I mean, all around this year, the competition's been stiff. Personally, I'm excited to see Shadyside Outlaws on a good track this weekend. They've been showing out on Thursday nights. The racing's been tight. So I'm curious to see in a shootout style how this pans out and how hard they get after it, having the confidence in the track, because I don't give it to them on a Thursday night. And by design, you know, I try not to beat around the bush and make it sound like, oh, you might have a good track. I'm like, you get what you get, is what I keep telling them. But this weekend, what you get is going to be center stage prep. You know,
you're going to be on prep that's 3.8, 4.0 capable at least.
Well, hopefully, you know, we always work our asses off to make it happen. And weather's always a player, but we definitely work hard. So the effort's going to be there for them to have a track that is top tier.
Right. I'm going to have to leave for about 5 minutes. I'll jump back in.
Well, we got to start wrapping up because I know they got to start getting ready for the track stuff anyways. I know we've had to kick everybody out of the tower. So, but that's no problem. maybe we can talk some more. I'm gonna have the live going all weekend, Red. We can get you up here and we can talk some more on it.
Yeah. I'll have our booths and stuff set up right near the concession stand, sort of down closer. Pulling some favors to help get text since John's not going to be there, and hopefully I can bounce back and forth in the tower and get on the. I'll obviously do my normal little speak. I will try to make it through this one harder since my son and my wife are down in Atlanta, so a little more heartfelt than always before. But I'll have plenty of people there, so we'll make it happen.
Heck yeah, buddy. You know we got this covered. We're good. No stress.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I said, we're gonna wrap it up here in a minute anyway. So, Red, man, appreciate you coming on and giving a few words about the race. Like I said, I'm going to be live all weekend. We'll get you up here. I've got some external mics that we can plug in. You can talk through and talk to everybody. So we'll keep it rolling this weekend. So appreciate it, buddy, and can't wait to see you tomorrow.
Getting loaded up, and I'll be there in the morning.
All right, buddy. You take it easy, man.
Yes. Thanks.
So just want to recap on what Red went over with some of these classes and stuff. MB275. He took your Shadyside Outlaw rules, changed them up a little bit.
A little more outlaw.
Made it a little more outlaw, made it a little more reachable. For some of those guys that might have got displaced on my Shadyside Outlaw rules, I'm excited about that for one reason. It aligns with the Pro Street rules. And that's something I had in mind when I made the Shadyside Outlaw rules was
Super Street.
Sorry. Yep.
I was about to say, you ain't allowing the 33 in Shadyside Outlaws.
I mixed them up. My bad. Super Street. And I think PDRA done a fantastic job with that class. And I wanted these guys to be able to make small steps to run there, and vice versa, see the Super Street guys come out and be able to race at these smaller tracks. And that MB275 is right there in that game, and I hope to see other tracks pick it out. I'll be reaching out to some tracks, pushing this a little bit, and I think with Red being the caterer of that, it might encourage tracks to take it where it's like, well, I don't want to deal with somebody else's rules where he's a third party, you know.
So in other words, Eric Yost, listen up, Mooresville.
Yeah, anywhere in this region, man. I would love to see every track adopt those, get on them, and we can start having races. I mean, and it's free market at that game, you know. Put on your big race, put on small races. Give these guys a place to build these cars around. They have a national event stage to put them in as well. And
something I think is pretty cool, just before we go, you know, David Knight, if you guys know David, 704 Outlaws, they used to be here, they run at Mooresville now. We're bringing everybody back together for this event. You know, he'll be in the house racing with us this weekend. A lot of guys that run 704 will be here this weekend. You know, this is what it should be. It's the community all sticking together and running together for a great cause.
So then you go on to the 275-28, which has been a staple in the South. I don't think it needs much explanation. No. You know what you're getting. The proof's in the pudding.
No, I know Clay Smith and them's been messaging me, checking in. So I do believe Black Widow will be on property. That nasty black Pro-Charged Camaro. That thing's insane.
Sick,
so, and like I said, and then going back, like I said, we're on 235. I mean, limited street.
Yeah.
I can't just call it 235 because they got 255s now, but those guys are pulling in pretty hardcore right now. I mean, like Red said, there's a good chance. I think you see that record fall this weekend.
I think so. I think the weather's going to be there. It's going to get a little warm in the days. Like I'm seeing highs of like 85 to 87. That'll make it tricky in the day. But the beautiful thing about that heat is it transfers to the night. It allows the track to keep working. It doesn't get cold and shock the track. So I'm looking for some stellar racing from 235. And that's another class you go to. You say, proof's in the pudding, dude. Yes. If you've seen them race down here, you know what kind of show to put they on. Even when they have 10 cars, there's fantastic racing.
Yeah, dude, I'm telling you, that's one of my favorite classes. And if you've never seen the super small tire racing, this is the place this weekend. So
Shadyside Outlaws would be your
Yeah.
next one. Proof in the pudding.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen the Shadyside Outlaws, I think you're in for a treat. These guys, I'll put it on anything right now. I think it's the hardest ran program around. I would put them up there with Pro Mods. They run 3 rounds of racing, 2.5 hours time. We do it on a Thursday night. The track prep is the track prep. And I mean, these guys race every first and third Thursday of the month. So it doesn't get much tougher than that.
Zach Jones on here. Do any other guys' dad throw a fit when asked to take the hood off for Tech?
I've only had it happen once.
Hey, just know if you come back in 2 weeks for OG28, we've already seen under the hood. You're good.
Yeah, you're good.
You're good, Jody.
It's one time. One time.
But like I said, guys, this wasn't going to be a really long episode. We've got to get ready for Test and Tune tonight. So we're going to get everything set up and ready. And the link will pop up here in a few. You can watch Test and Tune tonight. So appreciate Red and Seth, everybody talking here for a minute, which we'll have Seth back on here in a couple of weeks because we'll be going over for Ronnie Buff Memorial Race. So.
Yep, and that one's going to be big. You want to cap that one real quick? Just to give them the rundown? Or I can.
$10,000 to win, guaranteed OG28s. Not pot, guaranteed to win.
Yeah, $100 entry fee. It's going to be an OG style prep. The track will be prepped. We'll be watching it throughout the day, but you won't see the tractor making laps like you would on some of the events and stuff. And not to throw shade at that or anything, but just something a little different, something to give these guys to race for. 5,000 to win top that weekend, 3,000 to win foot brake. 6-0 will be in the house.
And that's on Sunday, right?
That's I'm just kind of going over the weekend.
Okay.
They'll have their regular purse Saturday,
if you look at it, what is it? Top that weekend. Just looking at the purse breakdowns for the whole weekend. I mean, considering Friday, Saturday, Sunday, it's over $10,000 in money.
Awesome. Yeah.
I mean, this is the place to be on Memorial Day weekend.
I think so.
Bracket racing, OG28s, all that. I mean, you can't beat what the action.
Well, it's Grandpa's race, and we want to do something big, and that's what it always boils down to. Is like every year I'm going to try to up it and make sure it's big and proper, and bringing back the King of the South just that weekend was. I mean, to me, it's stellar. I'm tickled to death with it. So
this will be the second year the King of the South was being contested on 28-inch, 28-10-5 tire. So that's what I think. You're seeing the rebirth of 10.5 racing. Like, we called it Floppy Tire Revival. That was the original name of it. But it's actually, we made a decision, say, hey, if those radial guys think they can make it down this surface and tune to what we're going to give them, we'll give them a shot.
Yeah.
I mean, it's open to anything on a 28 10.5 non-W or a 275. There's simple rules, back half, stock style suspension cars, nothing crazy. It's just OG style racing is what it is, what the South was really brought up on. So
you got 2 weekends of racing here in the next 3 weeks that are stellar. Awesome. Get down here for the no-brainer nationals, guys. Your money's not going to a better cause. Like Red said, you got to pull on those heartstrings. And if you hear some of these stories, you don't think about them until they happen to you. And it's definitely made me more aware. I have a 3-year-old, and me and Ann have talked about it. It's like sometimes you can kind of feel bad. You're like, I have no right to feel worried or anything. Like, look what these families are going through. And so it really puts it on the nose and puts it in perspective. Like I said, there's a lot of heart behind this race, and Red keeping it going through. He could have threw his hands up this weekend. Yeah. His family's down there doing the treatments. He could have said, no, I don't have time for this. We've got to be down here. But he's keeping it going. So come out, support it. Even if you're on the other side, you don't care. I think there's a stellar show lined up.
Just look at it this way. No matter what, if you're just coming to watch racing, don't care about anything else, your money is going to something really great this
Really
weekend.
Great. I think you're going to have a great program. I think you're getting your money's worth tenfold over. So.
100%. Well, guys, we're getting ready to do start up Test and Tune here in about 20, 25 minutes. So be ready for the next link to come up. You can watch Test and Tune all night, and then we'll be live tomorrow night for qualifying also. So, Seth, man, it's been good talking to you.
Love y'all.
Bye. I'm gonna hit some audio, and thank you guys again for tuning in for Live with the Media Go.